There are so many firsts, lasts, and in-betweens. We're certainly not the last class to get a smile and a kiss from Bruiser walking across campus. We are never going to be the last class to begin our college careers by serving our local community and pursuing our passions. Above all else, come hell or high water, we will never be the last class to come to Adrian College and find a motivated and supportive community of students, faculty, and staff, and leave with the skills and tools needed to be inspiring industry leaders and professionals with high hopes and dreams for our bright futures ahead. The people and the experiences that we are most grateful for are the ones that will continue us on this upward path for the rest of our lives. In the spirit of gratitude, thank you to my fellow classmates for being a part of this community with me. Whether we spent most of these moments together or barely crossed paths, you contributed your gifts and talents to continue the legacy of this incredible community. Thank you for prioritizing the preservation of the Adrian College experience and for continually seeking to develop the institution's ability to develop both the knowledge in our heads and the care in our hearts.
Thank you to the roommates, friends, teammates, and peers who, although we have only known each other for 4 years, it seems impossible to think about being surrounded by anyone else in the coming weeks. We celebrated each other's accomplishments, became each other's biggest cheerleaders, and never let each other struggle alone. College has been called the most formative years of our lives, but I can say for certain that these last 4 years have included both the most amazing and most difficult moments of my life. One constant, however, is the support of my friends through it all. It is impossible to thank everyone who makes up our AC family. Together, you have each played an integral role in helping us achieve this momentous milestone.
And you be proud to be a graduate of Adrian College. It's a good day to be a Bulldog. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Today's students on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth and introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time when you will always look back at and say, you know what? Those were incredibly special years. Never experienced before I arrived and never replicated after you leave college.
take pride and learn from Asa Mahan's leadership today. Years of commitment to harnessing the power of creativity, ingenuity, community, and academic excellence.
I believe that if you get your degree, the world is going to feel like it's shrinking to you.
There's so many firsts, lasts, and in-betweens. We're certainly not the last class to get a smile and a kiss from Bruiser walking across campus. We are never going to be the last class to begin our college careers by serving our local community and pursuing our passions. Above all else, come hell or high water, we will never be the last class to come to Adrian College and find a motivated and supportive community of students, faculty, and staff, and leave with the skills and tools needed to be inspiring industry leaders and professionals with high hopes and dreams for our bright futures ahead. The people and the experiences that we are most grateful for are the ones that will continue us on this upward path for the rest of our lives. In the spirit of gratitude, thank you to my fellow classmates for being a part of this community with me. Whether we spent most of these moments together or barely crossed paths, you contributed your gifts and talents to continue the legacy of this incredible community. Thank you for prioritizing the preservation of the Adrian College experience and for continually seeking to develop the institution's ability to develop both the knowledge in our heads and the care in our hearts.
Thank you to the roommates, friends, teammates, and peers who, although we have only known each other for 4 years, it seems impossible to think about being surrounded by anyone else in the coming weeks. We celebrated each other's accomplishments, became each other's biggest cheerleaders, and never let each other struggle alone. College has been called the most formative years of our lives, but I can say for certain that these last 4 years have included both the most amazing and most difficult moments of my life. One constant, however, is the support of my friends through it all. It is impossible to thank everyone who makes up our AC family. Together, you have each played an integral role in helping us achieve this momentous milestone.
And you be proud to be a graduate of Adrian College. It's a good day to be a Bulldog. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another season of Adrian College Bulldog Rugby. I am Forrest Vernier alongside Calvin Keeson. Calvin, it is an honor for me to be working with you once again as we enter into another season here on ACTV.
Forrest, we're here, and we're ready for another season, like you said, of Adrian Rugby. And great way to start the year. Tough test for the Bulldogs going against the Michigan Wolverines, who have a really successful program. I believe they were national champions last year. So should be a great matchup. Excited to be alongside you as always, Forrest. It's not just you and myself doing the broadcast today. We'd also like to thank Cam Overmeyer, Andrew Black, and Audrey Gray for helping out on the crew today. All Adrian College students helping bring you the action as we await the kickoff here from the Wolverines.
And absolutely, it is going to be like a champion versus challenger matchup here at Docking Stadium.
And the kickoff is squibbed there. Didn't look like they got the desired desired distance they wanted. And immediately you see the Wolverines forming that ruck formation as it's picked up by Katie Gale. They'll move it across, and immediately it's Rebecca Dooley who's tackled. You see as soon as they're tackled to the ground, they establish that ruck formation for us. All the Bulldogs have to stay behind and can't go off sides, because once that line is established with the player over top of their teammate, not allowed to cross their legs. A huge hit there from the Bulldogs. That was Kiki Peters bringing down a Wolverine. Another big tackle. Going to the ground is Maddie Bowers.
Good defense shown so far from Adrian College.
Yeah, not giving an inch right now, Forrest. Doing a great job. Ball is fumbled momentarily, picked up by Danya Naraya, trying to find a gap. She's brought to the ground. Here in the opening stages of this game, Wolverines move it backwards. It's tossed back for Katie Gale. Ball's loose on the ground, up for grabs. Still it's loose, and the Bulldogs have it.
Smart play by the Bulldogs by taking advantage when the ball gets loose.
What a hit. That was Petrowski decking a Wolverine. Bulldogs looking to move it backwards here. Digging for the ball is Maddie Williamson, vice captain for the Bulldogs. Here's Peters. You hear the men's rugby team watching right in front of us, Forrest. They're getting excited, cheering on the Bulldog women. Here's Marigi with the ball. Moves it over. Breaking free here. Genesis Dotson gets away from the crowd, finally brought down. Look at the speed on Dotson there, Forrest.
Yeah, she was going really fast. But again, the reigning champions are showing their defense.
Tackled here is Peters. Bulldogs finally able to get possession after the Wolverines had it for the opening stages. Toss backwards. Petrowski dropped it. Looking for it now. Finds it on the ground. And what's the call? Referee's whistle sounds. Believe it's the Wolverines' ball as Petrowski dropped it down to the turf. She was a hockey player here at Adrian, has switched sports for her final semester here at Adrian College to rugby, so her first game with the Adrian women's rugby team.
And it looks like she's off to a good start, Calvin.
Forrest, what we're going to see here is our first scrum of the match. Because the ball fell on the ground, both teams arranging themselves in an interlocked formation. The ball is going to be rolled in by the Wolverines. They're going to try and kick it back to their team with their feet. Wolverines come away with it. It's tossed back by Donatoni. Wolverines brought down to the ground. They form the ruck.
Again, good defense by the Bulldogs, especially when they have at least a few players going after one that has the ball.
Yeah, really a team mentality trying to bring down the Wolverines. Wolverines advancing up the field now. Here comes Michigan charging up. What were you going to say, Forrest?
And it looks like the sun might be an obstacle tonight.
I don't know if it's an obstacle for the players on the field as much as it is for us up here in the booth trying to see things with the sun setting. Breaking down the near sideline here. This is Larson. Tossed it off, thrown down to the ground by Kalia Hewitt, who had the tackle. Sent backwards here. Fumbled. Found by Dooley, but since, again, we see the ball, incomplete pass hitting the turf, we're going to get another scrum coming up. What do you see as the strategy behind these scrums, Forrest?
I see a really good start happening between the Wolverines and the Bulldogs. It looks like they're really going back and forth with the offense and defense, regardless of who has the ball.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Bulldogs are going to have possession this time. They'll roll it in. Referee blows the whistle. I think he's going to have him rearrange the formation. Saw something he didn't like there, Forrest.
Yeah, good job there by the official. And making sure everyone's prepared for the next play.
These scrums are not for the faint of heart. A lot of physicality that goes into this. Really working as a team to move it back for your squad. And we see the scrum collapse again. A bunch of the Wolverine players going down. I think as they're jostling for position, we keep seeing, just players colliding, not able to keep their shape, and then collapsing down to the turf.
And it looks like the Wolverines are still in their champion spirit.
Rolled in by the Bulldogs. See if they can get it back again. The scrums are going to get formed again, and we see there was some expletives said down there on the field, something the referee didn't like. So I think he's going to talk to their team right now. I'm not sure exactly what just happened. Definitely some choice words said there. I'm not sure who they were directed at. And I think as a result, the Bulldogs are going to get the ball. Need to be showing respect to the official down there, and that's not exactly what we saw on that play, Forrest.
Absolutely, Calvin. I agree. It's important to show respect for the officials because you have to understand that that your plan's not always going to go the way it wants to.
Yeah, and referees are human. They make mistakes. Times that things don't go according to plan. Ball's pinned down on the ground right now. Referee making an explanation of what the infraction was on the play. Just about 6.5 minutes in, Forrest. What are your thoughts so far on how this game is going?
It's really interesting how there's no score so far because the times where I've watched rugby before, there'd be one team that would already have a really good lead.
Yeah, still in the early stages here, and with these 15v15 games, it's much different than the sevens where there's a lot more open space. It's really difficult to break free, and we're seeing a lot of textbook defense and tackling so far. Wolverines moving the ball around well right now. It's dropped off by Ruppert. Finally brought down at about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's definitely important to use the time you have and the space that you have to pass the ball around to your teammates when you're on offense.
Ball comes loose to McCalmont. Whistle blows, and it looks like the Bulldogs are going to get possession. Here's Marigi. Drops it off to Peters. Levels a Wolverine. Love the spirit from the fans here in the stands at Docking Stadium, really getting into it, cheering on their squad.
Again, good strategy there by the Wolverines, having a few players go at one player for the ball.
McCalmont tried to carry it forward. The whistle goes again. They'll have to reset. Here's Donatoni. Dropped off right now to McCafferty. Finds its way back to Dooley. She's brought down to the turf. Thrown back by Gale. Wolverines working it to the far side. Finds its way to Mia Hedman now. Trying to stay in bounds. Very close to seeing our first line out of this evening. Skipping past would-be tacklers as Ruppert hands it off, powering ahead Antia. Ruck formation. Here's Gale. Wolverines approaching the try line. Just inside the 5. They lose possession but are able to recover. Or no, they won't. Bulldogs are going to get possession here as the Wolverines fumble the ball.
That was great defense again for the Bulldogs.
Or perhaps we'll see a scrum here. Sorry, Forrest. Continue on. What were you saying?
I was saying that even though Michigan was showing really good gaps as they were passing the ball to each other, the Bulldogs had a really good strategy of being able to get possession of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Bulldogs just able to keep them at bay outside the try line. We're going to see another scrum here. And this is crucial because Wolverines very close to scoring the first try of the game on this opportunity. Wolverines advancing, but the Bulldogs get it back, trying to kick it out. They're able to get it clear. Continues to bounce. Finally picked up by Ember Larson, but she lost it. Still, Wolverines able to pounce on it. Getting to it just in time was Hedman. That could have been a bad miscue if the Bulldogs were able to pounce on that loose ball for us.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it's all about knowing where the ball is and knowing and knowing who has the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Wolverines showing why they're the defending national champions, dominating most of the possession for these first 10 minutes. Here's Dooley. Powering ahead. Rebecca Dooley can't be brought down. Finally, they bring her to the turf. Bulldogs steal it. Wolverines get it back. Are they past the try line? What's the ruling? Certainly close.
Very close.
I think they're going to say it's Bulldog ball.
It looked like the ball was really close to that line just by an eyelash.
Oh, they called it as a try, it looks like. I didn't see the signal clearly, but it looks like they gave him the points. Looks as if it's going to be 5-0 in favor of the Wolverines. It looked like they crossed the try line for us. Didn't see an emphatic signal, but looks like they're going to go for the conversion now. It's up, and looks like it's wide. So the scores are actually, they're going to credit her for the conversion. Wasn't able to tell from my vantage point, but looks like it went in between the uprights. So it's 7-0 in favor of Michigan for us. They get on the board. That was Katie Gale who took the conversion and put it up between the uprights. Looked like it was wide right, but must have snuck right inside that right side.
Very good start for the Wolverines. Even though the lead is only by 7 points, it's always a really good feeling to have that cushion.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've really started strong. Really imposed their will on this Bulldog team to start the match. Bulldogs will kick off to the Wolverines now.
The Bulldogs have plenty of time as they have 27 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yep, that's just for the first half, and then we got a whole another 40 minutes to go after that, so plenty of time for Adrian to try and come back in this one. In the meantime, Wolverines looking to add to their advantage. Moving upfield. They'll move it across to the near side.
Again, making good gaps to each other so they can have a good advantage and good momentum to run towards.
Here's Ember Larson. Moving forward, up the pitch. Drops it back for Naraya. Now here's Bowers. Powering ahead. They send it back for Gale. Now McCalmont. Brought down to the turf. Pride free. Here's Katie Gale again. Move to the far side, and Mia Hedman. She's tackled. Wolverines set up a textbook ruck. They'll hand it backwards. Tackled down at about the 24. Now here's Katie Gale once more. Finds Bowers. Maddie Bowers looking to break free here. And she's tackled finally. Able to advance about 10 yards up the field. Drop to Gale. Seems to be the setup person for whenever the Wolverines are tackled and want to move things across the field. Petrowski hands it back. Here's McDonald. She's tackled. Bulldogs trying to grab it. They send it backwards for Hewitt.
And for the offense for the Wolverines, it looked like it was layer after layer after layer. After someone would get tackled, they'd pass the ball to someone. If someone would get tackled again, they'd pass the ball again. And
it's really a team effort, moving it back and forth, looking for the chinks in the armor of Adrian's defense. Another scrum coming up here. Bulldogs will roll it in.
And I believe that is the third time in this game where the referee has put a pause to it.
Yeah, really have to get the scrum formation just right. See what happens this time around. It's going to be rolled in by Maddie Williamson for the Bulldogs. Wolverines advancing. They get the ball out of the scrum. Great work defensively to win back possession. Bowers is tackled. Thrown backwards for Gale. They move it across. Now here's Ruppert.
Ooh.
Huge hit. Armani Brown dislodges the ball. And there's a Wolverine down.
That has to be the best tackle I've seen so far tonight, Calvin.
Massive hit by Brown. Couldn't see which Wolverine player it was. I think they caught him up high. Looks to be holding her head. We're going to step aside while she's attended to. Hope that she's all right. We'll be right back after these messages.
The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Gotten an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities.
Oh, welcome back inside Docking Stadium. Injured Wolverine was attended to. Looks to be doing all right. Still wasn't able to identify what player it was. Ruppert's advancing up the field now. Still can't be brought down. One thing that's remarkable about this Wolverine team, as soon as they get wrapped up, they continue to drive forwards, really making the most of the ground they can. And they'll drive into the end zone here for their second try of the day. Or perhaps not. What's the call? Looks like the Bulldogs have possession. They were able to strip it loose right before the Wolverines were able to get into the try area.
Again, very, very close. But the Bulldogs again showed their defense and took advantage.
Looks like Adrian's just going to try and kick this one out of trouble. Send it right up the middle of the field. Fielded by the Wolverines, Mia Hedman. Here she goes. Staying on her feet. Finally brought down at about the 10. And again, because of a violation by the Wolverines, Bulldogs are going to get the ball back. Kicked forwards by Williamson. Looks like it's going to stay in play. Moving forward with speed here is the Wolverines. This is Anya Hedrick. Moved about 40 yards up the field. Look at that breakaway speed, Forrest.
And it looks like one of the Bulldogs tried to go for a tackle, and she just barely missed her.
Yeah, Hedrick very shifty, able to sidestep the check. Dropping it off here is Dooley. Wolverines move it to the far side. McCalmont will move it forward, trying to break loose. Bulldogs just able to wrap up the Wolverines. Here they go.
It's going to be close.
Again, we're right on that try line. Bulldogs have been able to emerge unscathed a couple of times, but the Wolverines continue to knock at the door. Score 7-0 right now. Moving ahead here is Antia. Ball stripped loose. Wolverines still have it. Dropped off. Advancing here, taken by Petrowski. Looking to drop it off. Wolverines take it, but it looked like the ruck had already been established with a player over top of Petrowski. So I think Adrian should keep possession.
And a good kick.
Picked up here out of the air by Naraya. She'll move forwards. Here's Danya Naraya. Tackled down by the Bulldogs. Wolverines trying to pry it loose, and they do. Here's Dooley. She's tackled. They'll move it onwards for Gale. Now, trying to get into the end zone is Hedman. Can she turn the corner? She does. Wolverines score to make it a 12-0 game. Great speed by Hedman. Good strategy by the Wolverines to move it around the perimeter where there was no Bulldog defenders present.
Yeah, it's always good to take advantage of those times when nobody's there, so you can just go for it to get the points.
Yeah, able to find the open area of the field and score again. And this conversion is going to come from a difficult angle for the Wolverines. If you can see where their player is positioned right on the left edge of your screen, that's a difficult angle and a good distance away as well. Let's see if she can get this one between the uprights. That one's going to be well short. So the score will remain at 12-0 with 19 minutes left in this first half. Our scoreboard is showing 18, but I believe we still have 19 minutes left. Thoughts on this one so far with 21 minutes having been played for us?
I'm really enjoying the back and forth offense and defense from stealing the ball to passing the ball after being tackled. That's what makes the sport really interesting to me.
Yeah, this game it's definitely interesting. I love to see the way the Wolverines are playing really as a unit, but honestly it's been one-sided. Michigan's really controlled this one so far.
Absolutely, and they're showing us why they're the reigning champions.
Kicked off again by the Bulldogs. Good hands by McCalmont to hold on to it and trucks over Kaylee Daniels. Little hit stick action there from McCalmont to steamroll Daniels. Finally, Michigan sends the ball back, and Tia couldn't catch it. So I believe we'll see another scrum formed here. Michigan's really dominated the scrum so far in this matchup. You see that they've been able to power and push the Bulldogs back so they're able to get to the ball, even when they're not the team that is rolling the ball into the scrum.
Absolutely. For the scrum, you have to be prepared for which way the ball's going to go, so whoever's going to grab it can grab it and make a run for it if they can.
Wolverines win it back again. We're seeing them muscle the Bulldogs off the ball when it comes to the scrums. Tackled down is Danya Naraya. Sent back by Donatoni. Moving forwards.
Good defense again by the Bulldogs.
Wolverines get it out of the ruck. Donatoni swings it across. McCalmont driving forward. Look at that lower body strength. Finally brought down. Gale. Sent wide. Here's Ember Larson. Larson trying to break loose. She dances deep into Bulldog territory. Still Larson finally tackled. You see, even you talk about, usually a football term is yards after contact. The Wolverines do a lot of that where even after they're wrapped up, they're still running ahead. Not letting it stop them. Now it's Hedrick. She moves forward and gets inside for the try. Wolverines score again to give themselves a 3-score lead. That'll make it 17-0 now, Forrest.
I've really enjoyed how it's either been close or in to get the points that they need.
Yeah, I think this is just what we expected from this Michigan team. Very talented squad. They've got a lot of strength and athleticism individually, but also collectively as a team. They're really on the same page, working together as a unit, and that makes it really difficult to stop if you're the Bulldogs. They're getting some coaching right now in the try area. The conversion here from the Wolverines, and we'll get the signal. Looks like it was good, so that's going to make it a 19-0 rugby match.
I mean, even though it's 19-0, the Bulldogs have to remember that it is only the first half, and they still have time to learn more from the champions and to see what they can do to catch up and possibly make a comeback.
Yeah, I think we knew this was going to be a difficult matchup from the beginning for Adrian, but early on in the season, facing a tough opponent like this, you can really learn a lot from facing a good team, examining what they do and how they perform, and can help them moving forward into the season. Bulldogs launch it again deep into Wolverine territory. Carried ahead by Gale. Here's Katie Gale, still going. Petrowski brings her down. Wolverines continue to maneuver up the field. Here's Bowers. Sends it back. Larson.
And I like this strategy here by the Bulldogs, going after wherever the ball goes and going after who catches it as close as they can possibly get.
Yeah, that pass was nearly intercepted. Good awareness by Kalia Hewitt. Almost picked it off and went running, which likely would have scored her points.
And it looks like they're going to have another scrum.
It's just about to say, took the words right out of my mouth, Forrest. Got another scrum coming right up. Rolled in again here by Williamson. Scrum blown dead. Looks like they have some more things they want to work out here.
Yeah, it looks like when it comes to the scrum, not only you have to make sure you're physically prepared, you also have to make sure that you're following the rules.
Rolled in by Williamson. Picks it up again. Drops it off for Maregi. Dropped off here. Going, and finally brought down is Genesis Dotson. Gaining some good ground. Referee blows the play dead as Adrian wasn't able to get a clean ruck formed.
It looks like she was going really fast when she was holding the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Michigan gets possession here. They'll drop it off and drop to the ground here. Wolverines able to get it picked back up. Tackled to the turf is Antia. Lots of physicality on display here at about the 25-yard line in Wolverine territory. Now sent backwards for Maregi. She's tackled down to the turf. It's good to see the Bulldogs advancing into the Wolverines half of the pitch, I will say. Trying to get some offense going here, down 19.
And it's always important to do it when when the time limit is starting to cut down. Because you'll want to get as many points as you can, so that way you'll do the math and you'll know how much you need to catch up.
Sent backwards to Maregi, trying to drive forwards. This is an incredibly strong Michigan team. I feel like they're really stopping the Bulldogs in their tracks immediately, doing a great job of tackling and really not giving an inch. Now it's McDonald, finally wrapped up. Bulldogs form a good ruck. They'll get the ball out. Sent backward for Aaron Clay. Clay tackled down by McCafferty. Nice work by the Wolverine defense. Sent backwards. Michigan looking to break free, but stumbling there was Lauren Donatoni. Brought to the turf is Larson. Referee blows the whistle. We've still got 10:30 left to play in this first half, and we've got an injured player down on the field, so we're going to head to commercial break in the meantime. Injured Wolverine down. We'll be back.
If there was one word I was going to use to describe the communication arts program at Adrian College, it would be unique. Students find themselves on the radio, in front of and behind the camera, and directing their own programs. Students learn in a personalized environment that sets them up for a world of opportunities. Are you ready for your moment in the limelight? Learn more about the Rush Communications Center and Adrian College's communications program by visiting adrian.edu today. The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Got an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, and learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in.
There's so many firsts, lasts, and in-betweens. We're certainly not the last class to get a smile and a kiss from Bruiser walking across campus. We are never going to be the last class to begin our college careers by serving our local community and pursuing our passions. Above all else, come hell or high water, we will never be the last class to come to Adrian College and find a
And we are back here on ACTV as Michigan has a 19-0 lead over the Bulldogs. And we just have a little more than 10 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, we're going to see another scrum here for us. The injured Wolverine who was down on the field, looks like they're doing better now, so that's good news. Saw them get up under their own power and be helped off by the trainer, so certainly hope they're all right. Wasn't able, again, to identify who that player was, but glad they're doing okay. Obviously, you know, rugby is a fun sport. It's a physical sport, a violent sport at times, but at the end of the day, the best thing we can hope for is just for everybody to be all right at the end of the game, you know, because there's bigger things in life than sport. As fun as it is, and as fun as it is to be up here with you, Forrest, it's been a blast so far.
Yeah, Calvin, I also thought I'd like to mention that rugby, it reminds me of a 1-2 combination between football and wrestling and soccer.
Yeah, there's some soccer in there too, yeah.
Because you have a ball, you have players running around, and there's tackling, and
it's definitely a lot of fun. A sport that's more popular in other countries around the world, such as like England, South Africa, but cool that it's coming to the U.S. and becoming more popular. Great to watch some women's rugby tonight.
And it's always good to have a new sport added to a school like Adrian College.
Yeah. Moved over now to Kalia Hewitt. Here's Hewitt breaking free, moving down the sideline. Hewitt in for the try. How about that from Kalia Hewitt? Gets the Bulldogs on the board.
I am getting chills, Calvin.
Incredible play by number 13, Kalia Hewitt. And the fans are getting pumped up here in the stands. Ole indeed. Look at Hewitt dipping and weaving this way and that, breaking some ankles out there on the pitch, and gets in for the try. Forrest, describe that play for us.
I honestly loved how she ran zigzag, knowing when a player was behind her, knowing if she was on the left or the right. She went back and forth, side to side, and that helped her score the first 5 points for Adrian College. And again, it's very important to use the time you have left to get the points as many high as you can, so that way you won't have that big of a lead ahead of you to catch up on.
Yeah, definitely agree, Forrest. Bulldogs just down 14 now, and given some hope with that try. See if they can cash in on this conversion. Bulldogs able to score the try. Great work. See if we can identify who that was who just scored that one for the Bulldogs. Looks like it was Maddie Williamson. Another look at it there. Great work. Gets another 2 points on the board, and just like that, it's a 12-point game. Anyone's game, Forrest. Kalia Hewitt getting stuff going for the Bulldogs, and like you said, moving back and forth, cutting sharply this direction and that, makes it really difficult to track.
And it would be really helpful for the Bulldogs if they can get their score into the double digits.
Caught by Petrowski. She'll surge ahead. Finally tackled, and the whistle blows from the referee.
A little more than 6 minutes to go here in the first half.
Looks like we're going to get another scrum coming up. The players will lock together, as is customary. Again, it's Williamson who just scored the conversion for the Bulldogs, who will roll it in for her team. That's where we really see the strength and just pure power of Michigan on display, but the Bulldogs able to come away with it.
And if I was a rugby player, the scrum is what I would be worried about the most. Is because you're in a group, you're huddled with a bunch of other people, and you have to be aware of where the ball is and who's going to go where.
Yeah, absolutely. Takes a lot of spatial awareness. Need to be working together as a team and knowing where everyone is and what your individual job is. So couldn't have put it better myself, Forrest. Wolverines just charging ahead in the meantime. Trying to distance themselves again from Adrian, who scored the most recent try. Makes its way over to Marika Ruppert. Huge hit by Petrowski, or wasn't able to hold on. Sent backwards. Here's Ella McCalmont. Dropped it off for Rebecca Dooley, trying to get in for the try.
It's going to be close.
And they score. Wolverines make it a 24-7 game. And we've got looks like a Wolverine player, or a Bulldog player rather, Christian Sanders, who's in some discomfort. So we'll step aside to a commercial break in the meantime. Back here at Docking Stadium, and Christian Sanders is still in the game, got some medical treatment, and now looks like she's good to go. Wolverines with a chance to extend their lead to 19 with this try. Stepping up to take it is Katie Gale.
Very good strategy to take her time before she goes for the kick.
Kick is up, and it's right down the middle. That's a beauty. Good work by Gale. Makes it 26-7 in favor of the Michigan Wolverines.
And she made that kick look really easy.
Definitely agree. What stood out to you about her form as she approached the spot there, Forrest?
Basically just taking her time with it and following through with her foot.
Yeah, really textbook. And there's no rush, especially in those conversion scenarios. Just compose yourself, get in the right mindset, and get ready to go. Just awaiting another kickoff here from the Bulldogs with about 3 minutes left to go in the half.
A little more than a couple minutes remaining.
Powered forwards here by the Wolverines. Sent across. It's Marika Ruppert.
Great defense by the Bulldogs, taking advantage of when the ball was dropped.
Heading up the near sideline now. It's Danus, and the ball goes out of play, so we'll have a line out coming up. So what we're going to see here,
and it looks like the Bulldogs are going to be on offense as they're making gaps between each other, passing the ball. And she's going to go for the try line. And she's tackled at the 30 line. And the Wolverines have the ball now. 45 seconds left to go. (26-7) Michigan. And again, good defense shown from Adrian College, as they're closing the gaps between every time the ball is passed. 16 seconds to go. Wolverines again have the ball. But Adrian College again closing the gap. So unfortunately, we're having technical difficulties with Calvin's mic, so we're going to cut to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. (23 seconds left to go as they're getting into another scrum. As it looks like the Bulldogs are learning from the champions as she's going to go for the try line. And she is tackled. 3 seconds left on the clock. And that is the end of the first half.
we still have to wait for the referee's whistle. Apologies for those technical difficulties. My microphone back up and running now for us. Thanks for covering for me in the meantime. Here's Hewitt again. Can she get in? Reaching for the try line. Referee says she went out of bounds. Tough to tell exactly what happened there on the sideline.
Yeah, very close to call.
See what the ruling is. Looks like the Bulldogs went out of bounds, and that's going to be it for the first half. So at halftime, the score will remain Michigan Wolverines 26, Adrian Bulldogs 7. The defending champions showing why they were the victors a season ago. And the Bulldogs putting up a fight. We saw a nice try scored by Kalia Hewitt, but not enough to close the gap. Bulldogs head into halftime down 19. What did you see about that Wolverines team's game that really allowed them to advance to a sizable lead, Forrest?
I think they really did a good job at their offense overall. Like passing the ball, making those gaps between each other when they can, just taking advantage of going for it, of taking that much extension of a lead as they possibly can.
Yeah. Great work by the Wolverines in that first half. Bulldogs will have some catching up to do. As you see on your screen, we're about 9 minutes out from the start of the second half. We'll be right back after this commercial break with more women's rugby. Michigan versus Adrian right here on ACTV.
There's so many firsts, lasts, and in-betweens. We're certainly not the last class to get a smile and a kiss from Bruiser walking across campus. We are never going to be the last class to begin our college careers by serving our local community and pursuing our passions. Above all else, come hell or high water, we will never be the last class to come to Adrian College and find a motivated and supportive community of students, faculty, and staff, and leave with the skills and tools needed to be inspiring industry leaders and professionals with high hopes and dreams for our bright futures ahead. The people and the experiences that we are most grateful for are the ones that will continue us on this upward path for the rest of our lives. In the spirit of gratitude, thank you to my fellow classmates for being a part of this community with me. Whether we spent most of these moments together or barely crossed paths, you contributed your gifts and talents to continue the legacy of this incredible community. Thank you for prioritizing the preservation of the Adrian College experience and for continually seeking to develop the institution's ability to develop both the knowledge in our heads and the care in our hearts.
Thank you to the roommates, friends, teammates, and peers who, although we have only known each other for 4 years, it seems impossible to think about being surrounded by anyone else in the coming weeks. We celebrated each other's accomplishments, became each other's biggest cheerleaders, and never let each other struggle alone. College has been called the most formative years of our lives, but I can say.
And welcome back. Here at Docking Stadium, as we have seen quite a performance so far between your Adrian College Bulldogs and the visiting reigning champions, the Michigan Wolverines. As going into the second half, it is 26-7, as the Wolverines have quite a lead.
Yeah, Wolverines up by 19 going into this second half for us. What adjustments do you think Adrian needs to make if they want to come back in this game?
I think what they should do is try to keep the Wolverines as far away from them as possibly scoring as they can, so they can use their offense for whenever they get the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Easier said than done, though, with the amount of power and athleticism that this Michigan Wolverines team has. Bulldogs will take this kickoff. Ball will skip its way ahead. Picked up now by Donatoni. Looks like we'll see another scrum here to start this second half.
Yeah, you always have to have a good plan if you're going to have a scrum to start off the second half. Good job grouping up together.
Bulldogs trying to get the ball out of the scrum. See what happens. Looked like Cassie Rice got a hold of the ball but was trapped inside the scrum.
And it looks like they're going to try this one again.
Ariel Rathel will send the ball into the scrum. Bulldogs able to kick it back. Here's Rathel, wrapped up, chucks it back for McDonald. Now on for Genesis Dotson. Here's Dotson.
It's going to be close.
Prancing up to the 5. Bulldogs trying to establish position.
And it looks like they're learning from the Wolverines as they're taking those gaps, so they can have that room and they can have that momentum that they can get to run towards the try line.
Wolverines kick it away. This is bobbled momentarily by McDonald. Now she'll grab a hold of it. Sidesteps a tackler, still going, and then flung to the floor.
That was a good way to recover the ball after McDonald dropped it.
Rathel for Delaney Campbell. Turned it over. Now the Wolverines off to the races. That's Donatoni with the ball. Sent backwards by Bowers. Donatoni once more. Finds Gale. Work to the far side of the field. Driving ahead, Ruppert. Finally brought down by Adrian. Moving it up the sideline are the Wolverines. They head out of bounds. We'll get a line out.
And this is a good opportunity that the Bulldogs have to show what they can do here.
Wolverines right now controlling the pace of play. Sent backwards for Gale. Now moved onwards for Ribeiro. Breaking up the sideline. Wolverines trying to take it to the house and brought down just short of the try line.
Yeah, that was a great tackle there. Yeah, when it comes to defense, you're not always going to have a lot of people there to help you.
Yeah, that's why open field tackles are so important. Just being able to wrap someone up in space. Stop their progress.
Yeah, you just have to have that trust in your heart to know that I've got this and I can take this person down so we can have the ball.
Got another scrum coming up here in dangerous territory. Wolverines looking to get possession here and just punch it in for another try.
Yeah. Bulldogs have to be ready here. They're going to need a lot of defense right here.
Here the Wolverines go. It's Maddie Bowers, and she scores. Gets over the try line for another 5 points for the Wolverines.
It's now 31-7.
Here's another look at the replay.
Yeah, great job here by the Wolverines. Again, taking advantage of all the spaces that they have towards each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion there because it looked like there was a scrum that was going to be formed, but instead the play just started. Wolverines were off to the race. By the time the Bulldogs were able to collect themselves, they were already in the try area. Here's the conversion. That one's wide and short for the Wolverines. So the score will stay at 31-7 here with still plenty of rugby left to be played. 34 minutes worth to be exact.
Again, Bulldogs have plenty of time with 33 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. It looks like they're taking a little bit of time to get ready to go into offense.
Bulldogs kick it away. Picked up here by Gale. Katie Gale, we've said her name a lot tonight. She's been at the center of Michigan's offense, really orchestrating things well for them.
Absolutely. She has been quite the workhorse for this championship team.
Wolverines set up the ruck. Backwards for Gale. Now onwards. And it's Barb Ribeiro tackled down.
Good job Good job for the Bulldogs cornering them for the moment.
Here's Corriere, tackled by Pendo Maregi. Katie Gale moving forwards with it. Whistle blows. We'll have to see what the referee's decision is. I think we have an injured Wolverine down on the ground. Seen lots of injuries from Michigan so far. Certainly hope this player's okay. We're going to step aside for a break while they're back here at Docking Stadium. Michigan Wolverines leading over the Adrian Bulldogs 31-7. Injured Wolverine helped off the field. Seems to be doing all right. You know, what we're learning, the sport of rugby, it's not for the faint of heart. It's physical. There's definitely potential for injury with just bodies bashing together and the physical nature of the sport, Forrest.
I definitely agree, Calvin. You have to have a lot of physical and mental preparation for this.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of training goes into it. And you think of a sport like football where there's a lot of injuries. They're wearing pads and helmets. You're not wearing any equipment in the sport of rugby. Big hit delivered there by a Bulldog. Wolverines looking to set up the ruck.
And to me, not wearing a helmet is the scary part of it.
Yeah, I think it's all about technique and really just protecting yourself and making sure that you do protect your head, because that's one of the most important parts of your body, certainly. We see some of the players out there do wear the headgear. Don't think we see any tonight, but actually there's a couple players on the Wolverines who are wearing headgear, a helmet like padded that does protect your head. But for most of the players, they're braver than I. I'd definitely be wanting to wear some sort of head protection.
And also, I've seen a lot of them wear mouth guards.
Yeah, got to protect your teeth too, man.
Be good to save yourself a trip to the dentist.
Yeah, absolutely. Pass across for the Wolverines. Crowd petitioning that was a forwards pass from Michigan, but play shall continue. Sent wide for Michigan. Great tackle made there by Sloan Oliver.
Good tackle there by Oliver.
See the speed to get across, wrap up her opponent, and bring her down to the turf. And since the ball went out of bounds, we're going to see another line out.
Always a very creative way for this kind of play. Forming up that tower. That is the most creative thing I've ever seen in any type of contact sport.
Yeah, definitely another element that makes rugby really unique, right? Soccer, you see a throw in. It's kind of similar to that, except both teams lifting up their teammates up in the air. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong with that as well. So you really have to trust your teammates and know that they know what they're doing and they're going to take care of you while you're up there. Looked like the Bulldogs were going to come down with it from that lineup, but then they dropped it. Wolverines came away with it. As a result, we're going to see a scrum. Bulldogs knock it back. It looked like they were going to get to it, and then just a pile collapsed down on the ground. Another Michigan player getting the worst of that. Hopefully everyone's all right. That was a dangerous, dangerous collapse of bodies there on top of each other.
Again, if I was a rugby player, that is where I would be very nervous at.
Definitely intimidating, but you know, these players are used to it. It's all in a day's work for these athletes. Let's try that scrum over again, Forrest. Bulldogs trying to kick it back. Looks like the Wolverines are going to get it. Coming away with it here is Maddie Bowers. Pitches it for Gale. They'll move it across. Here's Ribeiro.
The Bulldogs have to get to them as quick as they can if they want a chance to get the ball and try to score.
Here's Hedrich. Worked back here for Hedman. Across for Antia. Takes a couple of Bulldogs to bring Antia down. Wolverines set up the ruck here. Still it's Bowers. Thrown forward. They get it out for Hedman. Open space, green grass for the Wolverines to run into. Tackle made by Oliver again. Done a great job making tackles in the open field since coming into the match. Taken away here by the Bulldogs as they advance. Crowd wanted a foul called there for wrapping up the upper body of the Bulldog player.
And it looks like the Bulldogs are going to have the ball.
Yep, they're going to kick it away here. Sent away. It continues to bounce.
And a tackle.
Big play made by Hewitt, who scored the Bulldogs' only try so far, with them being down 31-7. Halts Michigan's progress. Here's McCafferty. She's brought down. Thrown backwards for Gale. They'll move it over. Now it's Danus. Cynthia Danaeus. Tackled down, able to hand it off before she goes to ground. Wolverines looking to get it out. Here's Hedrich. McCalman driving forward, still going. Look at this from Ella McCalman. Able to move forwards. Ball loose, comes to Antia. Again, just the amount of progress they're able to make even after being wrapped up around the legs is incredible. They're not only running with carrying their own weight, they're carrying 2 or 3 other people with them.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's
here's Gale.
Like this
Katie
right
Gale
here.
breaking in for the try. What a play. Broke multiple tackles on the way in. 36-7 your score, Forrest, as we take another look. Break down this play for us.
And this was a good job overall by the Wolverines, taking advantage of the offense that they need to have. And that was a good escape.
Looked like she was going to be brought down, didn't it? But then Katie Gale said,
she just held onto the ball.
not on my watch. Able to keep going.
It's always important to just hold on to that ball as tight as you can, even as you're being tackled.
Sets up a difficult conversion for Gale here, operating from the left side. This would be pretty impressive if she can get it in from here. It's from the 10-yard line, but looks like about 30 yards from the angle. That's a great kick. It's up. And it looks to be good. That's incredible. Great work from Gale to get it between the uprights from an acute angle. Perhaps she didn't. Maybe that was a false alarm. It looked like it went through to me. They haven't added it to the scoreboard yet, though, Forrest. Could be mistaken. Might have been just wide to the right. My apologies. Thought it went in.
Yeah, totally understandable. I mean, it happens every so often when there's some sort of miscommunication as whether a certain type of play has to happen or not.
So we've got 23 and a half minutes left in this contest. Bulldogs pretty much playing for pride at this point. Down by 29. But we've got 23 and a half minutes to play for pride and try to improve as a team moving forward in their season.
Yeah, still have plenty of time to get some points on the board. And I've seen it where they've come all the way back before.
Crazier things have certainly happened for us.
Yeah, even though, like, no matter how big of a lead the other team has, it's not over till it's completely over.
Scrum being conducted as we speak. Coming away with it here with speed is Maddie Bowers. Here's Bowers. The 20, the 10. Bowers is home free. Scores again for the Wolverines. Incredible speed there for us. Give her, Maddie Bowers, an ounce of open space, and she's gone. Look at this. This is incredible. No one was catching up to Bowers there.
Yeah, even though it looked like some of the Bulldogs were ready to tackle her, she was already in, and the points were already scored.
So now we'll see if Katie Gale can score a conversion. We had the false alarm last time. We'll see if she can get the 2 points cashed in here.
She's taking her time here. Backs up, gets plenty of momentum here. Trying to make sure everything is in complete focus here before she goes for the kick.
That one's going to be wide left. I can say with assurance that was no good. Able to get a better sight line on that one. It's an interesting angle we have here from the booth. Have a beam right in our way, so it's hard to kind of see what's going on between the uprights. But the score is going to stay at 41-7. Impressive offensive display we've seen so far for Michigan for us. What did you see on those last couple of tries? That speed from these Michigan attack is incredible.
Yeah, the speed has been a very important factor of for the Wolverines.
Why is speed so important?
Because you have to be able to know, like, when you have to just go for it, when you have the opportunity to.
Yeah, they see the open field and take their opportunity, right? Seizing the moment. This is dropped by the Wolverines.
And when it comes to speed too, it's either now or never. So it's important not.
We're seeing our first maul of the game here, Forrest. Wrapped up there was Kiara Kendall. They continue to force her forwards via the maul technique where your teammates surround you and they continue to drive you up the field. Gale. Bowers. Off to the races again. Maddie Bowers, they're able to catch her that time. Good D by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, good defense by the Bulldogs. But like I said, that could have been an opportunity for when she could have been able to pick up her speed.
Another tackle made. Sent back for Hedrich. McCalmont. She's tackled. Michigan trying to establish position and get the ruck going so they can get the ball out with less than 20 minutes left in this match. Calvin Keys with Forrest Vernier here on ACTV. Audrey Gray, Cam Overmeyer, Andrew Black also helping us out alongside Josiah Durrell. All of us students here at Adrian College bringing you the action. Happy you could join us on your Friday night. Hope it's a great start to your weekend. So it's a really good start to your weekend if you're a Michigan Wolverines rugby fan right now for us. They've been phenomenal all night.
Absolutely. And the champions, This game is showing us that they want to pick up exactly where they left off, to have a quest to repeat their title.
Certainly look capable based on what we've seen today, haven't they?
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get a line out, I believe.
.1840 left in the second half. We're going to see a line out here with the ball out of play. Wolverines come away with it. That ball went over the outstretched arms of the raised players and then fell to someone who was just chilling on the ground. Anya Hedrich.
It's like she was in the right place at the right time.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Not necessarily anything that Hedrich did, but just kind of fell right into her lap. Good fortune. Fortunate bounce for the Wolverines.
The Bulldogs looks like they're taking advantage and using their defense.
Flung backwards for Antia. Dropped off again.
Looks like they're trying to corner her.
Bulldogs able to bring number 19 down. McCalman, she is collided with heavily. Huge hit. Anya Hedrich tackled. Players wrestling around for the ball. Looks like the Bulldogs have it. See if they can get out of a rock and a hard place here, stuck in their own end. They get it free. Moving ahead here. Great pass. Can the Bulldogs get away? Going. Look at the wheels here. It's Maddie McDonald finally brought down. The Wolverines try to wrestle it free. McDonald couldn't quite get there. She was so close, Forrest.
And again, that's where speed definitely will have to come into factor, because when you have it, and even if you have a couple feet of worth of gaps between you and whoever's behind you, that's when you need to really pick it up and run towards the...
Exceptional work there by Ariel Rathel. Gets in for the try, and the Bulldogs score. Great work. Let's take another look at this one. Or rather, we just saw the replay of the score from Rathel with 15:50 left in this second half. It's 41-12. Still Michigan leads, but, you know, Bulldogs still fighting hard, and they're rewarded.
Yeah, even though they're down 41-12, it looks like they're showing that we're not completely out of this ball game yet. We're still going to use the time we have to get the points we can, use our offense, and to get the numbers up as high as we can.
And the conversion from Rathel is good. Or rather, that was Armani Brown taking it. Another look at the technique here. That one was rocketed up in the air. I love that play from Rathel that we just got another look at. Really dove, used every ounce of her reach to just get the ball in over the try line. Love the effort.
Yeah, what an effort on offense that the Bulldogs are starting to display here, regardless of having less than 15 minutes left to go. They want to show that they can still get some points on the board. Like, even if you feel like you're not going to make it, you never give up. You just do not quit. And that's what Adrian College should be all about.
Yep, we're seeing there's no quitting these Bulldogs despite being down. Michigan on paper, the more talented team. They've shown that today, but Adrian putting in a good effort here today. There's Di Quinney. She's tackled. We've got 14 minutes left in this game. Possession to Michigan. Here's Ella McCalmont.
Bulldogs are going to need to show their defense here again.
They take it away. Miscue from the Wolverines with an incomplete pass. And the Bulldogs able to grab it. I don't know how Michigan's getting possession out of that. It looked like they had just violated the offside line. Huge hit there.
By the way they were positioned, it looked like they were going to have a line out earlier.
Wolverines trying to power their way into the end zone. Can't get there. They throw it out for Gale. On the outside, here's Naraya. Now onwards, can the Wolverines get it in? They can. It's now 46-14 for Michigan.
And the reigning champions just keep putting an extension to their lead no matter how much the Bulldogs try to fight back.
Yeah, seems like the Wolverines have a response at every turn. Really working hard to assert their dominance over this game.
And the Bulldogs also have to remember that it's only the first game of the season. And one loss is not the end of the world. Because they'll have many, many opportunities to do what they can. To show what they can do when it comes to offense and defense and being able to stand their ground whenever they get the chance to.
Wolverines weren't able to score the conversion, so the score stays 46-14.
But no matter how big of a lead you have, you cannot get comfortable just yet. You have to make sure you're showing the defense to make sure you're keeping the other team down with much points as possible.
Yep.
While also adding in much extensions to your lead as you can.
Game isn't over until it's over. Got to play whistle to whistle. Moving ahead is Hedrich here, dragging a Bulldog with her. Can tell this Michigan team puts a lot of work in the gym. Here's McDonald again. She's tackled.
And a good pass.
Here we go. Bulldogs off to the races. Can they get there? No. Alyssa Luzkow brought down, but they've advanced deep into Michigan territory. Whistle blows. Wolverines will take it ahead. Here's Hedman. Now McCalmont. Sent back by Hedman again. They'll work it to the far side. Here come the Wolverines. Sent over. Wolverines keep it going, this time to the near side. Finally taken down is McCafferty. Players jostling for position. Bulldogs have it here. Great work. Fumbled by Hewitt. She'll pick it up and run. Brought down by Gale with authority. Clock ticking down, less than 9 minutes to go.
Remember, if you make a fumble, you still have just a little time to make a pass.
Bulldogs have possession here. Dotson to Hewitt again. She's wrapped up. Wolverines trying to pry it loose. Whistle's blown. Bulldogs still have it. Advancing slowly but surely. And here's Liz Dowding. On now for Maregi. Approaching the try line. It's ever so close here on the near side.
Yeah, they definitely had her cornered on that play.
Bulldogs trying to power it in. Here she goes. Pendo, Maregi. Ball still not in. They try to work it across. Michigan line holding firm. They can't quite get it in. Sent over again. Here's Di Quinney reaching for the try line.
Did they get
and
it
they
in?
score. Great work by the Bulldogs. Persistence pays off. They're able to get on the board. Another look. Relentlessly just forcing their will against this resilient Michigan backline. Finally able to get the rock in. Makes it 46-19.
She did a good job not only holding the ball tight, but it looked like she was hiding it in.
Yeah, Wolverine defenders really trying to strip it loose, but having that secure grasp on the ball is paramount. And we'll see the conversion attempt from Pendo Maregi here. Sent up by Maregi. It's good.
Good strategy to be able to get the 2 insurance points.
46-21 now your score. Bulldogs down by 25, but they've remained persistent despite trailing for most of this game.
Yeah, and those 2 points you can get can be very important to get the insurance. Because remember, some points they're always better than getting no points.
Wolverines to kick off. Sent deep. Bobbled by the Bulldogs and went forward. Picked up by Aaron Clay, but the Wolverines are going to keep possession here.
Yeah, good job by the Wolverines taking their time. And it looks like they're going to get into a scrum.
Here we go, sending it in for the Wolverines, Mia Hedman.
Making preparations into that scrum. It looks like they were trying to eat up quite a bit of time.
It's the name of the game at this stage. That's the name of the game, excuse me, at this stage for Michigan. Trying to just put a bow on this one right now.
Yeah, we got less than 5 minutes to go here in the second half. 46-21 Michigan.
Recovered by Hedman. Backward to Gale. And just as quickly as it was pried loose from the scrum, we'll run it back.
Less than 4 minutes to go now. As it looks like they're going to try this scrum again. A smart idea by tapping the player by who they think is going to get the ball.
Bulldogs have it, sent backward by Rathel, who scored for the Bulldogs just recently. Back for McCalmont. Gale again. Sent over. Naraya.
And is this going to be a line out?
I think it will be. Got it right on the nose. This game may not have the result you would have wanted if you're a Bulldog fan, but for the Wolverines, they have a lot to be excited about. Even for the Bulldogs, we've seen glimpses of good things, and it's been a great way to start off the rugby season. Happy to be able to be in the booth with you tonight for us. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, Calvin. It is a pleasure to be working with you as well. I got to say, I really admire our Bulldog team. I really appreciate the effort that they've shown. But also, I have nothing but the utmost respect for the reigning champions. Because the Wolverines, because of how hard they worked last year, they really want to keep that dedication going to show who they are and why exactly they became on top.
Yeah. Offensively, defensively, athletically, and technically, this Michigan team is a pleasure to watch.
But again, still not over yet, as we have still less than 2 minutes to go now.
Looks like we'll get another line out here. Or rather, this will be a scrum, excuse me.
Yeah, by the location they were at, it can really confuse you sometimes whether it's going to be a line out because of how close they are to that area.
Ball loose on the floor. Both teams contesting for it. It's sent over. Bulldogs will power ahead.
A little more than a minute remaining.
Looking to head around the edge. Here's the Bulldogs. It was dropped. Lost control of it. Might have been a break. Looked like Adrian was going to get a scoring chance there, and just a mistake made. Dropping it down to the ground, and just like that, the opportunity's gone. Frustrating.
Yeah, the clock's really ticking here. 40 seconds left. As the Bulldogs are trying to give one last chance to fight back, to show their dedication.
20 seconds left. Again, the Wolverines punch in one more try. They're going to go for it. Great tackle made by a Bulldog on the perimeter. Sent ahead by Dooley. Hands it back for Hedrich. And that's going to do it as soon as the referee's final whistle sounds. And that'll be it. Michigan emerges as the victors valiant tonight. They take it 46-21 on the road against the Adrian College Bulldogs. That'll do it. Final thoughts on this one, Forrest.
Really good start for the reigning champions. Being able to keep that win streak alive and be able to do what they can to possibly start a quest to repeat their championship.
Yeah.
But
great.
What an effort, though, by the Adrian College Bulldogs.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in tonight, everyone. Pleasure to be with you again, Forrest. And if you enjoyed our content, feel free to subscribe on YouTube. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, every platform at Adrian College TV.
Also, if you don't want to miss any of our videos, please make sure to tap the bell for notifications so that way you will know when we are live.
Well, that about does it here from Lenawee County. Thank you for tuning in, and to all the Bulldog and Wolverine fans watching at home, have a great weekend.
And go in love and peace.
continue to take pride and learn from Asa Mahan's leadership today. 161 years of commitment to harnessing the